Everybody, Brickhouse here, and 2023 has been a tumultuous year for the big studios such as Disney, Warner, Comcast, Paramount, so on and so forth, because they're all playing catch up to Netflix. Let's face it, Netflix is the big dog in the yard, and Netflix is the only streaming service that's turning a profit. Now, the others, who I just named, they're losing more than $5 billion in the past year from their streaming services. Just as an example, Disney, since the fourth quarter of 2022, has lost $2 billion on Disney Plus. Not to mention the fact that millions and millions and millions of subscribers they lose. That is until they throw out their a holiday special where you can sign up for Disney Plus for $1.99 or $2.99 just to get those subscriber numbers back up. Now, I found this article over on Ars Technica, and it does a pretty good job of diving in to the state of streaming, in my opinion. It's shakeout time as losses of Netflix rivals top $5 billion. That's billion with a B. Disney, Warner, Comcast, and Paramount are contemplating cuts, possible mergers. So you have the world's largest entertainment companies facing a reckoning in 2024 after racking up more than $5 billion in losses in the past year from their streaming platforms. You know, they're trying to compete with Netflix, the big dog. Netflix's yard, everybody else is just in it. Disney, Warner Brothers Discovery, Comcast, and Paramount, you know, they keep growing. They keep getting bigger. They keep getting larger and larger and larger. Are facing pressure to shrink or sell legacy business. What the article's talking about there is their linear cable channels, because that ad revenue's down, and it continues to go down. Scale back production and slash cost following billions in losses from their digital platforms. Sherry Redstone, Paramount's billionaire controlling shareholder, has effectively put the company on the block in recent weeks. Yeah, she put a big for sale sign out in front of Paramount. She's held talks about selling the Hollywood studio to Skydance, the production company behind Top Gun Maverick. Paramount's chief executive, Bob Bakish, has recently been in talks with Warner CEO David Zaslav. In fact, I think it was last week that they were spotted at lunch together in New York. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. In both cases, the discussions were said to be at an early stage, and people familiar with the talks cautioned that a deal might not materialize. Beyond streaming and the money they're losing with streaming, the traditional media groups are facing a weak advertising market, declining television revenues, and higher production costs following the Hollywood strikes. Who didn't see that coming? Rich Greenfield, he's an analyst at Lightshed Partners, said Paramount's deal discussions were a reflection of the complete and utter panic in the industry. TV advertising is falling far short. Cord cutting is continuing to accelerate. Sports costs are going up, and the movie business is not performing. That seems to be a perfect storm. Everything is growing wrong. Everything is going wrong. That can go wrong. The only thing the companies know how to do to survive is to try to merge and cut costs. But As the big guys, the traditional media owners, struggle, Netflix, the tech group that pioneered the streaming model over a decade ago, has emerged as the winner of the battle to reshape video distribution. Now, Netflix is at an advantage. They were first. Usually, whoever's first has the edge. And in this case, Netflix has the edge. For much of the past 4 years, the entertainment industry spent money like drunken sailors to fight the first salvos of the streaming wars. Now we are finally starting to feel the hangover and the weight of the unpaid bar bill. That's according to Michael Nathanson, who's an analyst. For companies that have been trying to compete with Netflix, Nathanson said, the shakeout has begun. After a bumpy 2022, Netflix has set itself apart from rivals, most notably by being profitable. Yeah, that kind of helps. Earnings for its most recent quarter soared past Wall Street's expectations as it added 9 million new subscribers, the strongest rise since early 2020. Of course, that's when you know what happened. And Netflix has pulled away, says John Martin, co-founder of the Pugilist Capital and former chief executive of Turner Broadcasting. For its rivals, he said, the question is, how do you create a viable streaming service with a viable business model? Because they're not working. As evident by the example I just gave a little while ago about Disney Plus. You know, and Michael Eisner still says that Disney Plus will be profitable in 2024. How? He doesn't give any type of rationale or reasoning as to how. He just says that it'll be profitable in 2024. The leading streaming services aggressively raised prices in 2023. Yes, they did. Now, analysts, investors, and executives predict that consolidation could be ahead next year as some of these similar services combine or bow out of the streaming wars. Here's an example. This might not be the perfect example, but Showtime had a streaming app that has now been folded into Paramount. So now you can go to Paramount Plus. You can get all your Showtime content. You can get your Paramount Plus content. Very similar to when Warner Brothers and Discovery merged, and you had Discovery Plus and you had HBO Max, or now Max. And those two things came together to where now all your content is in one spot for Warner Brothers Discovery. Warner, home to HBO and Warner Brothers Movie Studio, has made a small profit at its U.S. streaming services this year, in part by raising prices, aggressively calling some series and licensing others to Netflix. However, this has come at a price. Warner lost more than 2 million streaming subscribers in its two most recent quarters. Yeah, what they did over at Warner, just to give you guys an idea, remember the Batgirl movie that was supposed to come out? Yeah, it's shelved. It's not going to see the light of day. That's a tax write-off. That's an example of culling a series or a movie. And I do believe now you could watch all of the Snyderverse over on Netflix. I think, maybe, possibly. Somebody can confirm that for me down in the chat. The company, which merged with rival Discovery last year, has long been rumored as a potential takeover candidate, with Comcast seen as the most likely buyer. But Zaslav in November hinted that his group wanted to be an acquirer instead of an acquiree or a target. There are a lot of excess players in the market, so this will give us a chance not only to fight to grow in the next year, but to have the kind of balance sheet and the kind of stability that we could be really opportunistic over the next 12 to 24 months, he said on an earnings call. The terms of the Warner Discovery merger barred the group from deal making for 2 years. That period expires on April the 8th. So get ready, folks. Come April the 8th, Warner Brothers Discovery wants to wheel and deal. Disney, the largest traditional media company, is in the midst of gutting restructuring that has featured 7,000 job cuts and attacks from activist investors. It lost more than $1.6 billion from its streaming businesses in the first 9 months of 2023, during which its Disney Plus service gained 8 million subs. They gained 8 million subs. Well, probably because of the deals they were putting out there. Make those sub numbers look good. The company says it will turn a profit in streaming in late 2024. But again, how are they going to turn a profit in late 2024? Bob Iger, Disney CEO, this year openly pondered whether some of its assets still fit within the company, prompting speculation that he was considering disposals. But no deals emerged, leading some investors to conclude there is little appetite among private equity or tech companies for acquiring legacy business. Paramount, on the other hand, their shares have risen almost 40% since early November as sales speculation mounted. The stock rose sharply after the Skydance talks were reported, but both Paramount and Warner shares fell after news of their discussions came to light. Analysts said the two companies' high debt levels were an immediate concern for investors. We suspect investors will focus on pro forma leverage above all else. They estimated that an all-stock combination of Warner and Paramount could yield at least $1 billion of synergies. Greenfield said, but merging two companies with loss-making streaming services and large portfolios of declining television assets was not the answer to their problems. The right answer should be, let's stop trying to be in the streaming business. The answer is, let's get smaller and focused and stop trying to be a huge company. Let's dramatically shrink. So, my opinion, in the opinion of some others, yes, there's going to be some contraction when it comes to these streaming platforms. There's going to be some wheeling and dealing. There's going to be some mergers and acquisitions. Case in point, Disney still has to finish the buying out Comcast for Comcast stake in Hulu. So Disney will be the majority owner of Hulu. Well, what's going to happen with Disney Plus and Hulu? They're not going to remain two streaming services. They're not going to remain two platforms. You're going to see those two platforms be integrated into one. Plus, you have the talk of ESPN going direct to consumer and ditching cable, which they kind of already have something with ESPN Plus. So there's that. I mean, what if you see Amazon scoop up, say, a Paramount? Speaking of Amazon, how many of you are upset about the $2.99 that extra they want to charge you to have advertising free content? I mean, keep in mind, Amazon Prime as a service, which means, you get that discounted shipping, free shipping, whatever. That $12.99 a month or however much it is a year, they just threw in Prime Video for free. So the people squawking about paying an extra $2.99 a month to have ad-free content on Prime Video, I get it. It sucks. But you've been getting Prime Video for free with your Prime subscription to get, that free shipping on everything you order from Amazon for a number of years. So what do you guys think? Comment down below. Share your thoughts. What do you think is going to happen here in 2024 with these streaming platforms? Do you think there's going to be a lot of contraction? Do you think there's going to be some mergers? Comment down below. While you're at it, please take the time to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you to the 12,300 of you that have subscribed this year. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a video. And with that, I thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I will see you later.